Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I came with a special reading that is um, about an Aries and Cancer connection. This was kind of asked for, so it shall be given. So, how I started the reading is that I asked the cards to tell me more about their relationship. So if you are an Aries, and oh, it specifically was about an Aries man and the Cancer woman. So about their relationship, what came was fearlessness, hope, and unconditional love. It's kind of like a current state that represents both of them, and more fearlessness on his side, and probably more unconditional love on her side. But it doesn't mean that the other one does not have that in them, and they are connected with hope. And hope is there if you even if you check this image, that when there is so much darkness, so much is happening, so much is going on, either inside you or outside of you, and you internalize it, but you still see the light, and you know that there is a solution, and that you know that there is still hope for something to happen. So that's kind of representing their current state. And then I asked, like, what can they do for each other, because I was asked about the connection. So, like, those two connected people, one I received the soul, which is about planning, setting intentions, and optimism, which is actually very much the skills and the strengths of an Aries. And then the leaves were for the Cancer, about renewal, revival, and progress. And considering that this is like a follow up from the February paired up reading as well, I think this relationship might be in in progress. So basically, something you must have learned already from each other, especially that partner, that person who you are connected with, and probably that person still has heaps of ideas and heaps is going on in their mind, and they are planting those seeds. And always remember, these seeds are not visible yet. So when we plant, it's under the ground, but it doesn't mean that nothing is happening really. They are growing, they are rooting in the soil, they will come out as leaves later on. So it's so beautifully connected. These two people, like, one is planting, having the ideas, and the other is like giving that nurturing energy, basically that unconditional love into that relationship, so that they grow their leaves. And so they build on each other. It seems like a very kind of prosperous relationship, to utilize your strengths, both of your strengths, and rolling this relationship to the right way. So the next one I asked was from two decks, and I asked for one card for from the divine feminine, and then one from the divine masculine. However, I got three. So here you go. We've got these for Cancer: the cosmic egg, yeah, Hestia, and I'm not sure if I pronounce it well, but let's say Yeshetzogyal. So these cards are talking about femininity, basically all kind of femininity. So if I would like to start the opposite way, so let's go from here to there. Um, so the Lady of the Lotus Born says that embodiment is the deepest bliss. My body was made for enlightenment. So this is about how you carry everything that you need for life. Well, Hestia is having a very, very similar message, which is like, no matter where I am home. She's home in her body, she's home in her soul. And the most sacred sanctuary is found within me. And then after these two came the cosmic egg, which is basically um, the divine feminine itself. So when you hold the whole universe in you, and you are the force of an ever expanding love. So all these three, if you read them as a story or if you read them as one pattern, is that currently you are the feminine, the most feminine you kind of can be, because you do carry it inside you. And this egg has other meanings, obviously, for women. And I was thinking whether it means it can, but it does not necessarily mean a baby on its way, because it actually means all the eggs inside us, that we have that power inside us to create. And creation is not always only another human, but create anything. It can be art, it can be business, it can be something um, that you feel compelled to create. But as I read it, it's really, really connected to your femininity. So the most connected thing for a Cancer to femininity is motherhood. So what I'm reading into it is that it's either a mother who is carrying uh, I mean, everybody's all women carrying these eggs, but someone who is still very fertile, very in a creative version, or really physically, because this one talks about the body itself, that the embodiment of the deepest bliss. So it's kind of, yes, one way I cannot not read it in a way of um, becoming pregnant is on its way, but also if we don't want to really dig deeper into that, then I would say this is because it's any kind of creation. It's your power. It's your feminine power to own that energy, to become one with it. And then I asked the divine masculine, and we've got interesting ones here too. So we've got Aizen Mew, we've got Shiva, second. Oh, I'm not sure you can see it, and Ruaumoko, but I will need to move this one here so that you can see it. So let's start with Ruaumoko, because this is kind of really an Aries type of personality, because he is a central figure in Maori mythology, and he's the god of earthquakes associated with volcanoes and seasons. So yes, just like Aries, they are associated with volcanoes and that fire that is coming out. So it's a really beautifully representative um, mythological image of that. And his message is that a spiritual awakening is coming for you, and the spiritual awakening can be like all this airy fairy and birds chirping type, or it can be something that is like a jarring force, or you feel overwhelmed right before you really truly awaken. And what um what it's also talking about is that, feminine energy tends to awaken via intuition, receptivity, and processing through discussions, but masculine energy is inclined to awaken in a somatic, visceral way to the physical body. So this person is either going through something already that is very building his spirituality through physical exercises, or or if not yet, that might be really beneficial for this person. And um, what else about that physicalities, to live your physicalities, and it's kind of, it gives you freedom. So the more you can go into that, and the deeper you can go into that physicalities, probably the deeper spiritual awakening you can get into, because it's so connected for this person, or for these Aries people. And the other one was Shiva, and Shiva, as we know, this many of us, the god of destruction. And that's that's again an interesting thing, because Aries' fire can destroy a lot of things, and sometimes they don't even see what have they done before it's already done. And but also, what is interesting, that Shiva's card is talking about how we see these things and how we see success. And in that sense, if you think about Pluto, for example, so and Scorpios, and how that planet of destruction is connected to them, and so as Mars to Aries and Aries and Scorpios too. But it's more like that Pluto energy. So Pluto doesn't destroy without a reason. There is always a reason. So to build something even better, but sometimes that's the price you need to pay. And Shiva's energy is very very similar to that. So it also highlights that whatever you see in the world might make you feel bad about yourself, because people are, showing off their successes, their happy moments, and so on. But you don't really see what is behind that. What are the sacrifices? What is the faith? What are their falls? What are their doubts? And what's really going on? And it's going on in this person as well. So maybe it's a highlight to call it out that, hey, Aris, look up. Everybody else is going through this. So you are neither alone with this thing, nor there is not a solution to that, how to get through it better. And that's where Aizen Mio comes into the picture, because he is really, um, he's teaching a really powerful message, because it's about anger, and Aries and Mars represents many times this angry energy that can also destroy, just like Shiva or Ruamoko. But there is a stigma around anger in this society, and the problem is not anger. Anger is something that everybody feels in their lifetime, but what matters is what do you do with it. And it's about calling it out, that you don't have to use your anger to destroy. Anger can be channeled and used in a different way, and anger itself is a very very valuable guidance system, which is a fundamental part of the human build and the body and the soul. And pretending it, suppressing it, it just doesn't work. It will just grow and grow bigger and come out like that volcano, and it's like an eruption. So it is a primary emotion. It's called a primary emotion, but it is because it directs you to somewhere. So it's a critical message that this person needs to pay attention and be consciously aware of. Oh, I'm getting anger. Where is it coming from? Where can I channel it? What is triggering me? But also, how can I channel it first? Because sometimes you can't even think when you are angry. You have to channel it. So um, it's not about, you know, that disappointment and shame and embarrassment that surrounds anger, but how you channel it into something that is many, many, many times for men, it's into your body. That's why when men can get angry and then they go down to the gym, the anger goes, you know, um, their testosterone is used for something else, to build their body, their muscles, not about destroying. So if you can channel this into building and not destroying it, that's how it comes back to Shiva and that energy, that whatever is destroyed, something else can be built instead. What if you don't even need to destroy things, but immediately you can channel and change it and change your perspective? And maybe sometimes it's just change your surroundings, so that you can get into the state where you are not angry anymore because the surrounding helped you to channel it in a different way. And acknowledge it, that yes, there is anger, and yes, there are things that you need to build, and there is suffering sometimes, and effort, the effort put into it. So yeah, that was the kind of current state and their potential. So how I see this is, what's the potential in that Aries, and what's the potential in this Cancer. And there is quite a big potential, but if I would like to connect them, especially the unconditional love, which is kind of the motherly love it can be associated with, and the egg and the baby, then this person is going through something, which is, that side is more on the creation, more on the feminine energy, more on this, obviously because I asked that. But this side is more about how to deal with the destructive energies. And in this month, and it does feel like that person is quite fearless, and that person is quite loving, and that hope is connecting them. So I would like to ask some cards, what's in it for you for the upcoming, I don't know, month or weeks or something? So, how is this connection evolving? What is going on with the connection? Because now we got to know a little bit more about what's going on deeper inside, or what is the message of like it could go further and what has the biggest potential in you. But let's ask the love cards, which not always only show love, but any kind of connection. What is the key? What's going to happen in their connection? Opa. That's a nice big jump. The Enchanted Whisper, the Ephemeral. Okay. Let's ask for another one now that we can have these three. Because it somehow that's the pattern. Oops, it jumped out. Thank you. And Loyalty. Oh. Okay. Listen to your heart and take a chance on love, having a brief affair or a rocky relationship, and standing by each other through thick and thin. It's interesting, but what intuitively comes to me is that, sorry, you can see, is that both of you are very heartfelt, very, very loving people, and loyalty is there too for the long term. You are. It seems like this connection is strong in the long term, and this ephemeral doesn't intuitively doesn't come up for me as like an affair, especially not outside. But the rocky relationship, it becomes like you might have a short-lived rocky time in this relationship that is upcoming for some reasons. Probably, I would say, because of this person's internal wars that he's unfortunately dealing with, and it's all this energy that he needs to really really channel, and I think he couldn't find any better than all that nurturing on the Cancer side. So let's see what's in them, what's coming for them in the future from this deck. Let's see what's in it for you. Whoop. I would like to take 1, 2. Thank you. One more. Did it turn? Yes, it did turn, so I need you. Hilarious. So the first one. Where are you? Direction. Plan where you want to be. And it's a really good thing because both of you can channel the nurturing energy and any kind of creative energy into that direction if you plan together. So if there is this connection and you would like to keep this loyalty, then having long-term goals together definitely will help, because you can be, both of you can be very dedicated to those goals, and if they are aligned and you know where you want to be, that's great. And even if not, or even if it's not the same where you see yourselves to be, it's worth the exercise and the communication. What are your direction? Why are you trying to get there, and which path are you planning to go there? And yeah, because everything can change and you can only change it if you are aware of it. So if you are setting the direction, and it's not always necessarily the end goal, just the direction of where you are heading to, definitely brings in better results. The middle one was, the second one was transformation, which is kind of inevitable in that sense of this person is going through, I see it, it's going through transformation, a very very deep, very sometimes very painful transformation, I have to say. What I feel is that the Cancer is already somewhere there where she wants to be and ready for something. Let me show you the last one. Here is your egg again. So here is the fertility. And it's saying that it's time to think about family, life, and children. So connecting that with the direction, this side is ready. This side is ready to give birth to something. It really, really wants to show it's a baby, but if it's not a baby for you, then it is something like a creative project, like a new business, like a new beginning. And God, if Aries are not the greatest in having new beginnings, then who is? So you have the right connection to initiate that, to jump into it, but acknowledge it that the transformation is there for both of you. So in one way or another, you will go through, obviously, if you become pregnant, you go through a transformation. You're creating a new human being. But there is so much inner transformation on this side. So basically, it's both inner transformation, but that one is more about the body, and this one is more about the feelings and more about it's not the beliefs, but it's the approach. It's more about the perspective of probably this person is going through a perspective shift, and probably that person is really helping him and really bringing in something that is so opposite, like the water and the fire, to each other, that this person seems like it's trying, it's going through, even if he doesn't want to or need to, he does go through it. It's as I said, inevitable. It's going on. It's in the it's in the cards. So what I would like to do is just one more. Here, this one. Where are you? Here. So just one more. Help. What is the guidance for each of them? How could they get there easier? What would help them in a practical way to get where they are best to be? Hop, 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 hop. Okay. So one came out, the ask for help, which says you can do anything, but you can't do everything. And seek assistance to help you expand. This can be really hard for some people, especially who know that that they can do anything. And Aries have the power to do anything. But yes, they cannot do everything and no one else can. So that would be nice if they could ask the other person who is already so ready to nurture and help, but he might need another type of help, and we need to respect it. So whatever type of help he needs, he might need another type of help from another masculine energy, which can be another woman, but with masculine energies and full understanding of how it feels inside your body, because it's a lot of embodiment in this. And then the other one came out was the peace of mind. So set peace of mind as your highest priority and organize your life around it. So yes, especially if it's a baby on the way or a new project on its way, it can be going crazy later. So prepare. If your mind is in peace, then you can have really better connection with your body, with your creation, with your femininity, with your intuition, and it's all this alignment. So you can be aligned to prepare for what's coming, because there is something really coming. You are absolutely there, bodily, let's say. So connect the mind even deeper into your body, and you can do meditations, you can do yoga, you can just do things that make you feel your body. You can go to a massage, and after that you can just imagine, like, oh my god, I'm still buzzing, whatever kind of connection. So here you go. This is my reading for this connection between the Aries man and the Cancer woman. I hope it helped, and I hope it's highlighted at least one step in the future or something that was useful for you. And see you next time.